So don't take that.
We won't take the...
Yes, let's be the
Pods.
in Springfield.
Tonight, slash today, slash whatever you are in time, we are looking at track 4 off Blink-182's 1999 release, Enema of the State, Homer Goes Away to College.
Okay.
And we're also
Is this a bait you're going to do for this episode?
I don't think
Which
so.
episode is this? We haven't done the thing we usually do.
I just said episode 47.
Of Pods?
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. This is episode 47 of Pods.
In the key.
Oh.
Springfield.
Today, we're looking at track 4 off Blink-182's Enema of the State, their 1999 release, Homer's Going Away to College.
Did you say Enema of the State?
Enema, that's the name of the
That's
album.
the name of the album? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
And then we're looking at Season 5, Episode 4, Bobo Bud.
What is State Enema?
A state enema?
Yeah, what is the State Enema? Yeah, you got a state flower, state animal. What's the state enema?
Oh, no, I think that the important concept, which perhaps you've overlooked, is that there are lots of different types of flowers and lots of different types of animals. Here's a fun quiz for anyone playing along at home, but I'll ask it specifically to you. Can you please name the South Australian state flora and fauna?
Well, the flower is like that red dealio.
What's the name? It's not just called the red dealio.
It's, no, like kangaroo's pocket or something. I walked past a plant the other day, and I was with my sister, who was 13.
And you said, the red dealio.
And I said to her, India, what's the name of that plant? And she says, I don't know. And I said, well, I was hoping you would, because you're in school right now, and that's the kind of thing they teach you in school. I, as an adult, have long forgotten whether this is called, like, Santa's Whisper, or, like, the Red Billy Gumtree, or the Johnny Jackson 5, or whatever that plant is called. It's red, it's got pointy bits.
I very much enjoy Santa's Whisper as not only a name for a plant, but also a name for an album.
What is it, like the Tasmanian Devil's Wish?
I guarantee you that there is a fucking Michael Bublé album called Santa's Whisper. The South Australian state flora is the Sturt Desert Pea.
Sturt Desert Pea. There it is.
The red dealio.
Is the animal is it a wombat?
Nope.
Nope.
It is a bird.
A
specific type of bird.
Is it the magpie?
No, it is the thing that most people will call a magpie, but it is not a magpie. It is black and white like a magpie, but it's different.
And red all over. It's a newspaper.
It's a newspaper mama, Peter Coombe. Yes.
Okay, good.
South Australia's national bird is Peter Coombe. No, it's not that. It's the piping shrike.
The piping shrike. Okay, that's how I would typically put my fondant on a cake. Piping.
Wait. Piping. Oh, piping the fire. Sorry, I thought both parts of the word were part of your joke there.
Okay.
Oh, I put my fondant on cake by piping a shrike. I'm like, what's the shrike bit mean?
Yeah, sorry, my jokes don't have a very high strike rate. So let's move on to The Simpsons. This week, Homer goes to college, and Rosebud.
Homer's going away to college, track 4 of Enema of the State.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk The Simpsons. So
Sure.
Homer goes to college. For a long time, I've held this as one of my absolute favorites. I love this episode a great deal. I would say that it fucks. I did find that I laughed less this time than I usually would watching it.
That's interesting.
And I have a bit of a theory about that.
Sure.
My thinking, while watching these 2 episodes and thinking about last week's episode of Pods in the Key
Of
Springfield, is that this is the season that I'm most familiar with, I think. Watching these episodes is like coming home to a warm bed. And, I sit in my bed every night, softly giggling. But, I'm not gales of laughter aren't erupting from me like a dying whale.
Is Gale... okay, hang on. So I wasn't expecting a rhyme to come up there. Is Gale a noun people use for laughter? Or do you mean like a gale force wind of laughter is not protruding and exuding from your person?
I'm not exuding a gale force of wind.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not going to make that joke.
Okay. What jokes are you going to make?
No, I was gonna make no.
What are you Googling? You've been in your phone this entire recording.
Oh, it's a long story.
Okay, well, the listeners have time. Okay, so let's talk Homer Goes to College, in which Homer goes to college.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? This opens with an ode to naps. Everyone at the power plant is napping. Nick, do you nap?
I don't actually nap. I used to have an anti-nap stance. I've
Of course you did.
my philosophy was once I'm awake until I'm not. None of this
Napping
bullshit.
doesn't change that.
No. Because what I meant by that was I'll go to sleep when it's time for me to go to sleep. There's no point in this like, oh, I'll be asleep for 25 minutes. No, fuck that. But the other day, I'm choking on my own bullshit. And the listeners went, it's about fucking time.
That is how you're gonna die, I think.
Choking on my own bullshit.
Yeah.
Papa, is Nick gonna choke on his own bullshit and die? Well, son,
God, I hope so, son.
I would certainly imagine so. Now I want to stop listening to this podcast and put on the ABC Radio National, son. What? No, I actually, having said all that, I've loosened my nap stance recently.
Okay.
But I'm not quite a napster. As in, Metallica have not yet sued me.
Okay, or you haven't got an Enema of the State or whatever the fuck. What band was that did that album?
Blink-182.
Blink-182,
Yeah.
okay.
Or for our American listeners, Blink-182.
Okay.
Apparently, for some reason, Australia decided to just not pronounce it the way that the band decided. Which, given my stance on GIF, it is interesting that I've dug down on 182, isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't it? Do you want me to tell you more about my nap stance?
Sure, you don't like napping, but you're lenient towards it.
I had a nap the other night, and I reckon I slept for maybe 20 minutes,
Oh, yeah?
which is not a very long nap. And I woke up at the end of that 20 minutes and had one of those things where, so you know, there's that thing where like you wake up and you have no idea what time it is, but also you don't have any idea whether it's morning or night. You don't know what day it is.
Sure.
I find it tends to happen when you're very sick.
Yep.
If you're very sick and you like doze off on the couch and it's like 4 o'clock when you doze off and you wake up and it's 7, and if it's winter the sun's starting to go down,
Yeah,
and
it
you
could
go
be any time.
7 in the morning, 7 at night, Tuesday, Friday. I had one of those after a 20-minute nap, which I think is possibly a record for shortest discombobulating sleep.
I nap.
I'm not sure if records are being kept on that, I have to say.
Well, if anyone out there is keeping records, nap records, please get in touch with us. I nap maybe once a year. It's an annual event for me. There'll just be a day like, this is the day that I'm going to have a nap. Usually because I've slept very, very poorly, or I am sick, or
Sure.
very occasionally I'll just be like, would really like to nap right now, and then it actually happens. I've had plenty of like lie down, close your eyes moments that haven't turned into naps. Nap is a very occasional thing for me. Which I hope people tuning into this episode were wondering about whether we nap or not.
I guarantee you there are some people who have gone, tell you what, napping sounds pretty fucking good right about now, and they have dozed off and zoned out.
Oh, they're going to do Homer Goes to College. Bet they're going to tackle napping.
But I have to say, I do enjoy the feeling that the intro nap sequence evokes. It is a very comforting feeling of those days, where those lazy dog dangling days.
Yep.
When you're when the heat, because it starts off being very hot, doesn't it? Or are they just lazy?
It's just, I mean, the sun is out.
The sun is out.
You
but
can tell
just,
because they have their guns out.
I see.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. No. I think that it's. I like what it evokes.
Does your work have a head bee guy the way that the Springfield Power Plant does?
No.
Somebody has to mind the bee.
No. So we see Homer being put in the basement.
Yeah.
With one of the guys who has like classic cartoon dumb guy voice.
Yeah.
Aw, what are we down here for with the brains? Have you ever met anyone who talks like that in real life?
Yes.
I went to school with a guy who kind of honked like a duck when he talked.
You're talking about me, are you?
No. Wouldn't that be amazing? If I had, for years, rattled out this anecdote of my duck honking acquaintance, and then I tell a specific story, and you're like, wait a minute.
And I started laughing really hard. Honk! And then you would know.
I remember saying that specific combination of words.
All these years it was you.
It was me.
Yeah, well, okay, so you had a honker.
Yes, but the guy downstairs with the wah, I don't know what's going on with those people and that voice. I don't actually think that is a real voice.
Okay.
Look, who knows really? But what was I going to say about the B guy, head B guy? No,
Yep.
we don't have a head B guy. We have a whole B committee,
Oh, okay.
a commit B.
A commit bee.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Okay. Well, I will often be asked to mind the bee. at my
B
work.
asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exact bee. They will put me down in the basement, and the bee hasn't gone out yet, so I'm feeling pretty secure in my job.
Yeah, right.
Although, actually, I do want to talk about my job, because this episode, Homer Goes to College, is about Homer going to college, and as you know, I work at a university. Now, look, let's talk about what's happening at the moment.
Sure.
There are 3 universities where we live. 2 of them have today announced that the merger they were planning has fallen apart. Negotiations have fallen apart. One of them has said they don't want to do it. The other one, the one that I work at, has been proposing a massive restructure for a while now that is going to probably make a lot of people redundant. Probably going to mean, they're saying it's not going to result in any jobs lost, but obviously that's a lie. And the union...
Restructures tend to result in jobs being lost.
Yeah, the union has just managed to put a halt to all of this. The restructure is on indefinite hold while, they renegotiate the terms of all this shit. So that's good, but, the place that I work at, yeah, not great. I feel like I've complained about work a few times on this podcast. Currently looking for a different job. Again, not going to name where I work, although... The clues I'm dropping, if anyone's in Adelaide, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's a whole situation.
That is what I would describe as not fortunate.
Sure.
So what's up with that voice? I crossed that off. Commit B. Oh yes. One more question about B. Because
Okay,
you say that you're the head B guy.
Oh, B.
If it's a cold day, do they give you a knitted button-up jacket to wear? And is that your Cardi B?
I assumed you were going to go either a beanie or it'd be a joke about a hot cup of B.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. B goes into a lot of things.
Yeah, because it rhymes with
Yes, exactly.
with heaps of things. Really.
Yeah, it rhymes with B.
What?
It's a letter. It's a word.
Oh, have I told you on this podcast about my favorite Sesame Street song parody?
Parabee.
Yeah, parody.
Yeah.
See, it's a parody of the Beatles' "Let It Be," and it's someone holding a letter B, like a big cutout letter B, and singing "Let her be, let her be, let her be,
oh, let her be."
And then I think I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but it's like words like boat and budgie, let her be.
Now, which album is Let It Be from?
Fuck. Isn't that from the last one?
From the... Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. God, that's going to get old fast.
Alright, let's not do that anymore.
Okay, because part of what we do on this podcast is educate people about the BE tools. Fuck! Okay. So the nuclear inspectors, they show up to the plant. And they've got this van out there, and they're herding everyone into the van to do their little tests.
Yes.
When Homer gets into the van, there is an exact replica of his station from Sector 7G in the van.
Exact.
What's going on?
Well, does everyone work at Homer's exact station?
That's what I'm wondering.
Or is it some Seinfeld? Some kind of TARDIS van?
I was thinking, is it a TARDIS van? I've never seen Doctor Who, but my understanding is that
It surprises me that you haven't.
My understanding is... I don't even know what Doctor Who is, really. My students keep telling me it's good, and I keep saying, whatever. But my understanding is the police box. You go inside there, and there's just a replica of whichever station of the nuclear plant you work at. And that's what Doctor Who is about.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I thought that the police box, which looks like a phone box, the police phone box, was bigger on the inside. That's all I know about the TARDIS.
Speaking of mysterious boxes, we never find out what's in the mystery box that Mr. Burns has on his desk.
I thought it was a bribe worth less than the washer and dryer.
You reckon?
Yes, or it could be more.
It could be.
Or it could be the contents of the TARDIS, I guess.
You reckon?
I'm not really following where you're going with
Maybe
this.
well, I'm just curious. You know, it's one of those things that's going to haunt me forever. What was in that mystery box?
Rosebud. Am I meant to be picking up what you're putting down?
I'm not putting down anything specific. I'm just saying
all right.
that it's haunting me that we don't know what's in that box. Now, would you take the washer and dryer, or would you take the box?
I have a washing machine, and I am opposed to drying machines.
Sure.
I'm sure that there are many countries and climates in the world in which a drying machine is necessary. Adelaide is not one of them.
I do like that you refuse to use the term dryer.
Drying machine. Those magnificent men with their drying machines.
I've got no need for this drying machine.
And people sitting at home going, is he talking about like those dehydrators that people use to make their own banana chips? No, I'm not talking about the dehydrators people use to make their own banana chips. I'm talking about the drying machines. No, so I wouldn't go for that. I'd go for the box, because at that point, what am I going to do with the washer and dryer? I'm going to have to put them on Gumtree and deal with all those fucking idiots on Gumtree. I don't want to deal with those Gumtree people. Or sorry, Craigslist if you're an American listener. Not Craigslist. Heaven forbid you should say the word the way it's spelled. Craigslist.
Jesus. You're really swinging out on specific regional pronunciations tonight.
I am. And it is, I'd go for what's in the box. What would you go for?
I would also go for what's in the box, but I feel like...
Do you mean early 2000s Channel 9 kids TV
what's
show?
in the box?
In the box.
What's in the box today? What's
today?
in the box?
With an extraordinarily camp host.
How else are the da-da-da-da? What do you say? Let's something in the box today. What's in the box?
Yeah.
Was that a bad show?
I think it was... I think that what I remember that show being was, remember on Play School they used to have the useful box? It was like a big cane, a big like wicker basket. And then if they were making, what would a craft project on Play School be? If they were making like 4 cardboard tubes stuck together with tape and then a patty pan on it, they'd open the useful box and be like, what's in the useful box today, children? And they'd open it and be like, 4 cardboard tubes, a patty pan, and some tape.
Papa?
Fucking tremendous. This is exactly what we
the
need.
cardboard's going to be in the box today, Papa?
Oh, I'd say the stage managers put the cardboard in there well and truly, little Timmy.
Were we too old for what's in the box when it was on TV?
I think...
And yet we're both familiar with it?
With the theme song. I mean, it's one of the better early 2000s Australian kids TV
Early
theme songs.
2000s. Would have been like 15. What's going on?
Yeah. But we both have younger daughters. Sisters. Typically, daughters are younger. Let's get that out of the road. But also, neither of us have daughters. We have sisters.
And I didn't at that age.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Fuck. Now, Nick.
Brett was the name of the host of What's in the Box.
Good. Brett, if you're out there, get in touch. So...
Yeah, what happened to Brett?
I don't know. I can't possibly know.
You got so fucked up. Nick, I don't know.
I just want to talk about The Simpsons.
Yep. All right. Let's do that then.
So, look.
Hey.
So...
Hey.
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 Hello. Nick, hello. So, Homer, he fucks up the van. He fucks it up. It blows up. And he turns green. He turns into a monster man. He trots around. It's all very wacky and fun. And then Mr. Burns needs to talk to his lawyers about getting Homer into a college. Now, I'm looking at this evil lawyer team, and I'm thinking, Nick, would you ever join an evil lawyer team?
I'd prefer not to join an evil lawyer team.
No?
I do work as a lawyer, but I don't think I'm evil.
But you could be one of, like, the five guys.
With the people that own the restaurant chain
Exactly.
in America.
You could be an evil lawyer who distributes burgers and fries.
I mean, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I've got the paperwork right here if you just want to sign.
Why are you a representative of the... I'm not signing this.
Well, I've learned how to forge your signature, so congratulations, Nick. You've got a new job. You start tomorrow morning.
You know, sometimes when I'm signing letters, I sign about 10 letters. Well, actually, no. Sorry. So I'd like for more of my letters to be electronic, but I'm currently signing about 10 letters a day. Sometimes I will sign it and then sit back and look and go, that is a very good iteration of my signature. I get very thrilled, low-key thrilled by a good reproduction of my signature.
I mostly digitally sign things these days, so I just look like, oh yeah, that looks like what my signature would look like if I was doing a very good job of it.
Yeah, I used to have a scanned digital signature, and it took several sheets of paper for me to get a signature that I was actually happy with.
One thing that I really love about this episode... Oh yeah, that's a good signature.
So like an artistic interpretation of an N.
Yeah.
I like how bold and swoopy it is.
It looks like it could be the signature of the rapper Nas.
Sick. I mean, Illmatic.
That was a good pull.
Thanks.
I assume you're not familiar with his work.
Not at all. I know two things about Nas. His breakthrough album was Illmatic, and then about 18 years later, he had one song that I knew because I heard it on the radio once.
Good, okay.
I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be.
Well, that's good advice in general, isn't it?
It is, actually. It's quite an uplifting song. And that little bit is sung by like a choir of children.
One thing I really like about this episode in particular, I've been trying to figure out the exact wording of how to express this. Because at first I said there's a sense of compression in a lot of the jokes in this episode.
Compression.
But I also feel like there's one instance where they do the opposite of this and stretch it out. Like the
Compression in an audio sense?
Okay, the first one I'm thinking of is when Homer's sending off his essays to colleges, and you see the people looking at that giant crazy photo of him,
Yes.
and saying, "He looks crazy." Agreed. Reading his essay would only waste valuable seconds.
Yes.
Valuable seconds. Funny phrase. It's,
Yes.
Reduce it. It's a compression of that concept.
Sure,
down
yes.
to almost
yes.
nothing.
I see, yes.
Later on, when we have the cinder blocks that are missing from the side of the children's hospital,
Yes.
3 cinder blocks missing, so the hospital cannot be built. The children are going to die. Very funny.
I think it's 6, but yes.
Yes, okay.
Because there are 3 on either side.
And then later on, the one that's sort of the opposite of this, kind of, is when the nerds are meant to prevent the Dean Peterson from getting hit by that car.
Yes.
And they start to run the calculations because Homer's going to hit the guy in 3 seconds. And they spend more than 3 seconds talking through the
that's
calculations,
good.
like, is this taking wind into effect? It's just
Interesting.
very precise use of a very short amount of time. In a way that, I've used the word compression for those first 2. I don't know if that applies to the third one, but I feel like they're all in the same basic class of joke.
Yes.
I think that's something this episode does extraordinarily well.
That's a really interesting point. Yeah, it's interesting because I went to say it's playing with time, but the first 2 don't fall into that category. But they are still, I agree with you, they are still in a thing of a fluidity of time almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful episode of The Simpsons.
I've heard of that program.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
The early on when Homer is watching the School of Hard Knockers,
Yes, very
that
good.
is... I've always really enjoyed that bit, but it's also just so perfect for setting up the plot of this episode. This episode has plotting that kind of eventually goes out the window, but that part, School of Hard Knockers, good stuff. I enjoy that. It's a parody of the kind of movie that I've never really watched, but I assume exists because The Simpsons has told me it does.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most movies are like that. Definitely every movie in the 80s was like that.
Yeah, well, one thing that I was kind of thinking here with this episode is that it's a parody of like a lot of attitudes and movies that I was never particularly privy to.
Sure.
I've actually got quite a lot to say about this episode. I'm looking at my notes.
All right.
But, we should keep joking around, saying some dumb shit, the things that our fans enjoy. Fans.
So there's the part of the episode where we see Burns' chair at Springfield University.
Yes.
And it's a very big, intimidating throne. If you had a big, intimidating throne, what would its design be?
What would its design be? Ooh, good question. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here and it says that he calls one of the guys a hot dog administrative officer. So I just keep thinking of a chair that looks like a giant hot dog.
Interesting.
But the hot dog has a smiley face on it.
Oh, like the was it a Snapchat thing? The happy little hot dog guy?
Happy little hot dog guy.
Wasn't
Yeah,
there
probably.
like a hot dog emoji that became really popular a while ago?
That sounds like a possibility. I'm not hip to Snapchat, so I'm not
see.
100% sure.
Would your chair dispense condiments?
Ooh, there's a question. Maybe there'd be like a little
pumpy
pouch in the
pouch.
like armrest that
Sure.
would just be full of ketchup, and then on the other one mustard.
I see.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So that would be my chair, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
Based on the fact that I have the word hot dog on my page here.
Perfect.
What about you? What's your chair?
My chair would start with black glitter at the bottom. That would fade through to a forest green glitter on the top. It would have a big overarching thing and lots of spikes.
Okay, Nick, be serious about it. I obviously gave mine a lot of thought. You're just coming in here with this bullshit you've just made up on the spot.
Well, sorry.
I mean, come on, take it seriously, Nick.
In one of the spikes that's in the midst of the transition from black to green, from black to forest green, both shades of glitter, I might add. In one of the spikes, there will be a ketchup dispenser, except I'll have tomato sauce in it.
Okay. What about catsup?
There will be no catsup.
Okay, good. Okay, good to have that clarified.
Yeah, so we'll have a sauce spike.
There's a lot of really lovely, fun out the window shots in this one. Constant scenes of people looking out the window to watch Homer doing something stupid.
Yes.
There's 3 of them. It's a repeated motif.
The thing I enjoy about the first one, I think it's the first one, is when Homer gleefully giggles, "That dog has somebody's ham."
Yeah.
Which means the thing he finds funny is a combination of the fact that a dog has, anachronistically, an entire leg of ham. That's not common. That's not the common dog experience. That's funny because it's 2 ideas merged together. Also, Homer finds it funny that ham has been stolen from someone else.
Yes, stolen ham. And it's a
Stolen
funny
ham.
design on the dog as well. It's like
I don't really recall.
first time I've really looked at this dog. I've really taken in the dog. And I like this dog design. It's a funny looking dog. It's all
Yeah,
pointy and pokey and mongrelly.
Good looking dog design.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Good job, David Silverman, I'm going to assume. Are you getting a phone call?
Yeah, and I don't know who it is, but I'm going to ignore them.
Okay. Good. If that's you calling, listener, right now, apologies. We were in the middle of something.
All right, I've told them to never contact me again. The same way I respond to
all
anyone that calls
messages.
me. I acknowledge that it does make this podcast hard to schedule. Hey, Nick, are you free for a never contact me again?
I just have to show up at your house, just on the off chance you'll be available.
Yes.
And sometimes you fire your blunderbuss at me out the window.
Weirdly, people who show up to my house, I'm very accommodating towards them.
Yeah.
It's just people who
You fire
call
the
me.
blunderbuss over their heads as opposed to at.
Blunderbuss.
Yeah, you got a blunderbuss.
Is that the big gun with the big horn at the end of it?
Yeah.
Or is it a bus that's full of mistakes? Because I like to imagine it's the latter.
I just immediately thought of a very cruel joke and then decided not to make it.
Tremendous. There's the blunderbuss. There's the mistake minivan. There's the,
Okay, what's the name of a family you dislike?
the Trumps.
Okay, the blunderbuss. So that's like the Trump family bus they take on vacation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Except I think blunder has a bit more of
The
like
implication is they're all mistakes.
see,
Unwanted mistakes.
see, I was imagining like a bus full of oafish gaffs.
Oafish gaps.
Yeah, like blunders. Like bloopers.
I would call those people bloods more than blunders, though.
No, I'm not referring to the people. I'm referring to the actions to which they get up.
Yeah, I know, but I was extending the joke further. I
Oh, sorry.
was taking a joke and I was throwing it that direction.
Speaking of throwing things in that direction,
Yep.
I was genuinely disappointed when I first went to university in 2005. Genuinely disappointed at how little hacky sack was being played.
Yeah, a lot of frisbee golf.
I'm now getting another call from Melbourne, and I don't know why, and I'm not going to answer it.
Some sort of life insurance thing, probably.
I don't think so. I have no one in Melbourne who needs to contact me.
Okay.
So,
Is anyone trying to contact me at the moment? No. Good.
Sorry, I didn't expect this to turn into a popularity contest.
I've got a notification from Bumble saying, yes, you should message her back. Now's a good time. Compliments work.
Oh.
Well, thanks, Bumble. Back in the pocket, you go. Bumble, a thing that bees often do, by the way.
Some types of bees do that.
Yeah.
Not all types of
Like
bees.
honeybees.
Yes. Oh,
And
like
wasps. My
like-
favourite kind of bee.
like Honey to the Bee, the song by Billy Piper.
Exactly.
Former sidekick on Doctor Who.
Bum, bum, bum.
Does that count as a callback? I'm not even
I
sure.
think it might.
It's close enough for us. Hacky sack.
I got a bit of a rant here. I got some writing. I just started to think about this because we got some nerds in this episode, some classic nerds. You got the three nerds. They're not given names. They're just three nerds.
Mate,
They're in the episode.
There are always two nerds in every episode of Pods and Kia Springfield. You and me, mate. Bloody you and me.
Ah, Nick, never change who you are. Just that sparkling wit. It's just really funny. Anyway, look, we got these three nerds, and I was thinking, I wish that I had more students like these nerds in my classes that I'm a teacher in. Because they're really engaged and they're clever and, they're paying attention to the work. It seems like the work they're doing is really good. And I feel like being a nerd means something a bit different these days.
Interesting.
But being a nerd is still often mistaken for inherent intelligence in a way that just isn't applicable or true. These guys, they're nerds because they put the effort in. And putting the effort in has meant sort of maybe waylaying a few other things in their own lives. And,
Sure, what we're laying, yeah.
and I feel like in modern society, where the nerd has essentially inherited the earth, like our predominant popular culture is based on what used to be, considered nerd interests, things have changed a lot. And I feel like if this episode was made today, and The Simpsons were still good, it would be very different. They'd be very different characters. You'd have a hard time putting these characters on the screen these days unless you were making The Big Bang Theory the most popular show on TV, so maybe I'm incorrect. But also, if you'd made this show 10 years earlier, where the main nerd discourse was extraordinarily toxic, every movie, those Revenge of the Nerd movies are just horrific. Yeah, I feel like this is a very 90s episode and very 90s portrayal of what a nerd is, I suppose.
Interesting.
And I enjoy that.
Interesting idea.
Yeah. I have ideas sometimes. I have thoughts. I have feelings.
Yeah. I mean, nerds are interesting, I suppose.
Did you notice that the nerds slept in a triple bunk bed that had no ladder?
Yeah. The fuck's up? Have you ever seen a triple bunk bed before?
No.
No, you know why? Because it would top out on nearly every ceiling.
Yeah.
Like,
Must be a very high ceilinged room.
But it's on a college dorm. Like, it's just not going to be because they would, I imagine, restrict those things as much as possible. Because if you've got, I don't know, fucking 10 stories and you restrict every floor by the 10th of a story, then you can add another story on top. Like,
Yeah.
They're not going to put fucking cavernously high ceilings at 3 bunks.
With
3
no
bunks.
fucking ladder. That's my
No.
problem.
Well, I mean, I guess the thing is, if the ceiling's so low that if it's a standard height ceiling, then the bunks would have to be so close together that you wouldn't need a ladder because the bunks would themselves be a ladder in this weird triple layered capsule bunk.
Unless it's one of those very modern designs where you can sort of compress the bed down.
Compress the bed down.
Yeah, a lot of compression in this episode.
As in, like, when you're not using it.
There's you always see those videos on Facebook. It's like, hey, you can buy this table and it folds in on itself, baby. Whoa. So you fold it in, and you get the person on the top level, and then you fold it out and get the person on the second level. And
Oh, you mean like one of those...
like a concertina sort of thing.
One of those fisherman's toolboxes. Where
Yeah.
you open the lids out and then a ladder splays out from within the...
Yeah.
I mean, a ladder-like arrangement of shelves is
Yeah,
probably...
maybe
more
that's how
correct.
this bed works.
Maybe it is how
This
the bed
cursed
works.
bed of the damned.
Wow, that's a bit much. Interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. And they're all in this room, and Homer's saying, "Oh, we need to prank the dean. My name's Homer, and this is my voice in this season."
Not only that, but the room is big enough for one couch, the triple bunk bed, and then a desk with 3 computers with 3 cathode ray tube monitors at it. That's going to be a hot fucking room.
Hot fucking room.
3 old school computers with 3 old school monitors.
3 sweaty nerds.
Muchy sweaty nerds.
So Bud is in the room, purely because he needs to be, and he scratches the blackboard. Do you know what that is a parody of? Can you identify the movie?
Oh, fuck. I just thought it was because people make that noise.
Because he's got the very specific, eye movement and everything. Can you identify?
Colour or black and white?
Colour. Came out in the 70s.
In the 70s.
Very big director.
Oh, is it a Kubrick?
No.
Right.
It's a director we have not covered on this podcast. Possibly haven't even mentioned by name.
That's going to be...
But he's like the guy.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 70s Spielberg.
Yeah.
E.T.
No, that was 80s.
Right.
Or possibly even 90s? No, 80s.
70s Spielberg. Give me the theme of the movie. Is it a space movie? Is it an adventure movie?
If I give you the theme, you'll get it. But if I...
Jaws.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
See, when you say give me the theme, I'm like, well, all right.
all right. Giant sharks.
That's the theme.
Interesting. Is that from the "We're Gonna Need a Bigger Boat" scene?
No.
No, I need that. I've seen Jaws. I don't remember a blackboard down.
You've seen Jaws?
I thought we.
Because my next question was going to be, hey, should we watch Jaws?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Do you remember it?
That's my answer to that question.
Big fucking shark just wants to make friends.
Bigger shark.
What the hell happened to my shark?
The hell happened to my jaws? Fuck. Why did that take us 2 bites to get to? Yeah, I mean, I guess we could watch Jaws, I suppose.
So they settle on a prank of going to kidnap this pig, Nixon's friend the pig.
Nixon's friend.
And this is the mascot of Springfield.
Here's my question. Springfield A&M.
Yep.
Here's my question. Why did the nerds get so invested in Bart's plan?
I think they're just going along with what Homer wants to do. I think they're just caught up in the wake of his nonsense.
I just feel like it's a turn that's not really properly explained for them.
It is very much, they just sort of go with the flow. They just get caught up in this, they seem to have little autonomy.
Yeah, I feel like if I said to someone, why did the nerds go along with it? I feel like the answer is a shrug and then exposition.
Now, when I saw them go to kidnap this pig, I was wondering, why does the university I work at not have a mascot? And I remembered it kind of did for a while. You remember the goose?
Oh yeah, the goose.
Yeah, the goose that some fucking students tried to smuggle into their dorm room, and then the goose freaked out and died.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, university legitimately went downhill after the death of that goose. That goose was keeping us all together. That goose was the glue. The pate, if you will.
Oh, Jesus. So it was a gloose, is what you're saying. And also...
Gloose, my favourite Pokemon.
Are you suggesting that it laid golden eggs? Like so many geese in the Willy Wonka factory. And it was those golden eggs that were being invested by the university.
Wait, is that what happens in Willy Wonka?
There's Veruca Salt wants one of the golden eggs. There's a bunch of geese that lay golden eggs.
Okay.
And they're filmed so that the geese look enormous too.
Okay. Is the goose who you remember having a laugh that sounded like it was honking?
No. I could say the name of the person, but I don't want to.
Please don't.
No.
The idea of Homer being a student kind of disappears somewhere at this point.
Yeah.
It comes back right at the end, very pointedly. It sort of disappears for a bit. And the nerds have to come and live with the Simpsons because Homer gets them kicked out.
Yep.
Nixon pops up and says, "Oh, you'll pay. Don't think you won't pay." And then they come to live with the Simpsons.
I really enjoy the line when the dean says, "That sounds like a pig fainting."
Yes.
Very auditorially specific dean.
Beautifully specific. There's a scene in this where the nerds, one of them unplugs the TV to plug in a rock tumbler. And the kids have been watching the Itchy and Scratchy episode, Burning Down the Mouse, where Scratchy...
Guest starring Tom Jones.
Yeah. Where Scratchy finally kills Itchy, possibly through song.
Burning down the mouse. 365 degrees. Burning down the mouse.
My mouse!
Much more successful than the previous episode, Sex Mouse. Sex Mouse, you're my sex mouse.
Terrible.
So bad.
It always legitimately bummed me out as a kid watching this episode that we didn't get to see the conclusion to that Itchy and Scratchy.
Interesting.
I want to see that mouse get got.
Get got.
And we never get to see the mouse get got.
Yeah, right.
Which is unfortunate. To me.
Right.
James.
Oh.
I'm James, by the way.
Waiting for got. Comma. Oh. Full stop.
Sure.
I enjoy in that bit when he says, "Oh, I need this outlet for my rock tumbler," and they say, "Plug it in," and he genuinely and earnestly goes, "The TV or the rock tumbler?" I like that in his world, Bart and Lisa urgently want him to plug in the rock tumbler. Follow-up question: what's a rock tumbler?
It's for tumbling rocks.
Like for a geography assignment?
Yeah, it's how you get your rocks off each other.
I see.
Yeah.
See, these days, to me, a rock tumbler is like just a blog which is loosely about music, but mostly pornography.
And rocks. A lot of rocks.
And rocks.
Just, it'd be called like, fuck yeah, sedimentary or something though. Or sedimentary, my dear Wilson.
Why Wilson?
Copyright reasons.
Fuck. What a response. What a response. Copyright reasons.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out of all future shit improvisations with copyright. That's why.
Yeah. I didn't want to infringe on any legal rights.
Oh, that's so much fun.
And this podcast that literally opens with a clip from The Simpsons.
Okay, so hang on, let's get this straight. We've got sedimentary, my dear Wilson. Have you got anything for igneous rocks? The ones formed in volcanoes.
Yeah, Ignis O'Reilly, the main star of A Confederacy of Dunces.
Fuck. All right, that was a much deeper bench than I thought we were going for. And then, hang on, what's the third one? Because there are three types of
How has this come up twice? Why is this the second time on this fucking podcast we tried to list the three different kinds of rocks?
Sedimentary, igneous.
Fuck me.
What's the fossil one? Because it's not just called fossil, it's called something different.
Oh my god, why are we like this?
It's a word for pressure. Type of rocks. Metamorphic. I always forget metamorphic.
Well, meta-porn flick then.
Oh, that's very good.
That's very Tumblr.
That's very Tumblr.
Now, a bunch of stuff happens and the nerds come back and Homer's got to take a test and then he fails the test. And then the nerds say to him, "We could change your grades with a computer." Here's the thing. No, they can't.
What?
There's no universe in which these nerds can make Homer pass this test.
Sure they can. They just hack the main frame.
It did get me thinking, of course, if anyone ever figured out my login details for my university account, they could just get in there and change the grades. But there are meetings for that. You have a marks meeting. You go to that meeting, you double check every mark.
During the course of that meeting, are you considered a marksman?
I've never thought of it, but perhaps.
Have you shot your co-workers?
I've shot them a smile on occasion, which is more than I've ever shot you. I sit here frowning every recording.
I shot the sheriff a smile, but I did not shoot the deputy because he wasn't looking.
Yeah, that's actually like a joke from a later season of The Simpsons, basically.
What is?
So the next time you see a sheriff, shoot him. A smile.
Of course. I see, it all makes sense now.
New.
Can I say I don't like the ending of this episode?
You don't like the ending?
Yeah.
Which part of it?
The very, very, very final bit.
Like the under the credits?
Yep. And we're going to, and then all the nerds go, party down, and Homer goes, Yahoo! And jumps like Mario from the Mario 64.
Let's-a go!
Let's-a go!
Dun 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 bump.
It's a me, Homer!
And he jumps on Yoshi and rides away.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've just described an episode of Family Guy that actually exists.
Almost certainly. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I don't like that.
I do feel like One thing that I quite like when shows do is if they do that college movie parody. You know the ending where like they'll do like the freeze frame on each character and tell you what happened to them next?
Oh, sure.
I feel like it would have been fun to do that, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Because then we could have done a flashback to like the squirrels that Homer was chasing around.
Usually there'd be like a food fight, and during the food fight it'd be like, so-and-so became a wealthy CEO. This guy died from a heroin overdose. It's always shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said shit like that. I just described two very different things.
This guy went on to free a princess from an evil turtle. Yahoo!
This guy, his brother, inherited a mansion full of goats. Mamma mia!
This guy's evil cousin keeps having his plans foiled. All right. Now, I have...
This guy's just a series of question marks. Waluigi!
I have 3 notes for season 5, episode 4.
You have 3 notes for Rosebud, but we just watched all of Citizen Kane.
So I'm not calling it Rosebud, I'm calling it Bobo Bud. Or or should I call it Rose Bobo?
I don't know.
I think Bobo Bud is more pleasing.
Bobo Bud.
RoboCop. So this is Bobo Cop.
Okay, so we're looking at RoboCop, the Paul Verhoeven film from 1987.
Yep, Paul, if you're listening, hello. Same name, different person, I believe.
Yep.
Unless
I mean, that could be true of any of the people named Paul Verhoeven.
well, I suppose so. I only know of 2. I
Yeah.
know of the
You
one.
only know of one, let's be honest.
Yes. I know of one who has, I believe he's recently published a book, but I know him from when he did...
Yep, it's called Loose Units. I've read it. It's good.
Yeah, excellent. But I know him from when he did a podcast about the Great Australian Bake Off. So
Oh, yes.
that's niche. And then apparently some other director stole his name 30 years prior. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about right.
RoboCop.
Yes.
Bobocop.
Yeah, RoboCop is the director.
So this is Rosebud,
Yes.
which I believe is a parody or at least a homage of the last episode of Inspector Gadget called The Red Rose.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's my favourite episode of Inspector Gadget.
Tell me more.
It's imbued with the delicious melancholy.
Inspector Gadget.
I mean, not the theme song. It's hot. Yahoo!
Oh, that's great, because I was just arcing up to make that reference, and then you jumped in. Wouldn't that be a very different show?
Fuck. Oh, that's enjoyable. Inspector Mario Gadget. I'm surprised that's not a game, actually, already. Anyway.
Are you?
Well, I don't know. The Red Rose, my favourite episode of Inspector Gadget, it's imbued with a wonderful melancholy. And then you started doing the theme song, and I want to just clear up, no, not the theme song. It's impossible to be melancholic when singing along to the Inspector Gadget theme
Okay,
song.
so does it have anything to do with the Red Room or the Blue Rose?
No, neither of those things. Thank you, James.
Okay, so we're not going into sneaky peeks here.
Oh, I wasn't planning on it.
Okay, that's fine.
To be fair, I never plan on it. Well, I just end up there all the
Like,
time.
you can't plan for sneaky peeks. Sometimes it just sneaks up on you.
You're like the dreamer. Dreams, and then lives inside the dream.
Sneaky peeks.
And sometimes it peeks up on you. Sometimes it peeks around the corner.
Nick,
and
let's be
says,
serious here, okay?
Here I am. Yes.
Okay, so we watched Citizen Kane the other day, right?
Yeah.
Did you recognize any elements of Citizen Kane in this episode of The Simpsons?
My first note, would you like to read that? SFSRM. That stands for Shot for Shot Remake, because I was eating a lot of curry at the time that this episode started, and all I could do was write down, the start is a Shot for Shot
And
Remake.
then your second note is from like the final minute of the episode.
Yeah, and it's only because it's a very specific grammatical note that I enjoy. We'll get to that. That's a little tease there for any of the listeners.
So yeah, perfect opening. Wonderful.
Yes.
The whole thing with the guys outside.
I was surprised at how many of the shots in the start of Rosebud I managed to recognise as, that is
it's got very similar music as well.
Yeah, that is a direct frame. But then they really rip it out from under your feet, because when the evil old man comes to collect little Monty Burns, which is called Happy in the movie. In this episode, for some reason, they call him Happy, which is strange.
Happy, yep.
But they when the story beats take a very, very different turn at that point, and so it's interesting to have shot-for-shot remakes with a complete 180 on some of the story beats.
Yeah, this scene where the dad comes up and says, "Happy, would you like to live with us, your loving natural parents, or go live with this twisted, loveless millionaire?" I feel like that scene really colored my understanding of Citizen Kane. Like, even I feel like the movie itself, the scene where Citizen himself,
Charlie.
yes, I knew his name. I just thought it'd be funny to call him Citizen.
Sorry, I thought for a moment there, I was like, "Am I helping you with a movie?"
I think you'll find his name is Charlie. You idiot! You twit!
I didn't realize that was the tone I was doing.
No, it wasn't. I'm just joshing you. So when Josh gets taken away by the...
Papa, do you think Nick will do any more of that Nick-splaining he's so good at doing? Well, Timmy, he can't help it.
Why have we adopted different dad personas in this weird alternate universe we're imagining where a child needs you to perform certain tasks on the podcast so he receives blood?
Podtask.
Oh my god, when I explain it, just
Should we set up an app called Podtasker? Where it's like Airtasker, where people get drastically underpaid to do menial jobs, but it's your favourite podcast hosts that get drastically underpaid to do menial...
How are we going to get people's favourite podcast hosts involved?
Well, I mean, it'll start low. It'll start with us.
So it'd be like you get people to record like a 5-minute podcast on the topic of your choosing for a nominal fee.
No, I thought it was more like, I need my back fence repainted. Oh, I'll get the boys from Tofop to do it.
Gonna get Chapo Trap House to get to clean my grouch in my bathroom.
Well, no, you'd have to fly them over from wherever they live, America probably. I mean, if you tell you what, look, if you want grouting done, I reckon best place to go for that, best podcast for that is one I've been listening to a lot recently, Hottest Hundreds and Thousands, because you've got 4 hosts on that podcast. 4. They'll get the grouting done quicker than you can listen to their back catalogue.
Okay, well, I guess that's a little plug for a app that does not exist.
Podtasker.
Look it up, maybe it exists by now.
I might look it up right now to see if it does exist.
So yeah, that, God, what was I going to say? Okay, here's a question.
Sure.
What the fuck is Sheriff Lobo? The Simpsons keeps referencing something called Sheriff Lobo, and I do not know what it is.
Sheriff Lobo. An American sitcom called The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo.
It was called The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo?
Yeah. Look at the guy, too. He's
oh my god.
Fucking champion.
Who is that guy? He's very familiar.
So the description is, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-word description. A bumbling Georgia lawman and his deputy battle crime. That guy is Claude Akins.
Claude Akins? That's a familiar name.
Not a familiar name, but he does look like a familiar person, actually.
Is he the dad of Clay Aiken? Who has a different surname?
I know who has a different surname. Let me have a quick... Let's do a quick first episode date, 18 September 1979. Final episode date, 5th of May 1981. So this show went for less than 2 years, and The Simpsons reference it a lot.
Wait, less than 2 years in the early 80s?
In the 79 to 81. That makes it better that they keep pulling back to it. Oh man, this gets so much better. The lead character, Sheriff Elroy P. Lobo. Oh, spin-off character from another television series.
Cheers.
BJ and the Bear.
Oh, really?
Do you know BJ and the Bear?
I'm more familiar with the existence of BJ and the Bear.
That's interesting. Running time between 45 and 48 minutes. That's quite a long show. In 2002, the series was ranked number 36 in the TV Guide's 50 Worst TV Shows of All Time. Tremendous.
Well, do we need to watch that for our new spin-off podcast? 15 odd shows about The Simpsons or whatever?
Possibly.
Okay.
I could get on board with that. There's a character in this called Peaches. Do you think she's a princess? Or do you think she's the avant-garde pop artist?
Do you think that's how Sheriff Lobo would go about town, just collecting coins out of out of pipes and jumping around and what? What is it?
Sorry. So there's one character called Peaches and there's one character called Brandy, and they're both women.
Okay.
Is this like, is Peaches and Brandy, is that meant to be like a, oh, look at these
A delicious dessert?
Yeah, look at these two delicious desserts with their whipped cream and their peaches and flaming brandy.
I don't know.
No,
we've gone down a pretty deep Lobo hole here.
That's all I had.
Yeah, okay. So Homer is asked to be a comedian at Mr. Burns' birthday, even though Mr. Burns cannot get the one thing he truly wants in life, the bear.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
Because
a
BJ
comedian.
isn't present to give him the bear. So, look, Homer seems to be a fairly bad comedian, but
Yes.
I feel like these days they would give him a Netflix special.
Yeah, almost certainly. I enjoy the way Homer leans into the character of like, oh, I'm doing a comedian thing. Well, I better get a sports coat and a golf club.
Yeah.
And he even had his hair brushed into a little comb over.
Yes.
Like it had a little curl
Yeah,
on
he's got the little curl.
Yeah, a little curl.
He's doing it. He's getting it done.
little curl.
So we see old Burnsy's birthday, and he wants this bear. It's the symbol of his childhood innocence. What is the symbol of your childhood innocence? When did you lose your innocence?
I reckon when I was so I used to play cricket when I was at school,
Yep.
and I am a left-handed person.
Okay.
When I was in year, I want to say 7,
Yep.
we stopped using, so...
By the way, if you're an American listener, for cricket, imagine baseball, but not as interesting. And if you're in the US if you're in Australia and you're not sure what baseball is, imagine cricket, but you don't like it as much.
I take issue with some of that. At some point in primary school, we stopped using the weird little like rubbery plastic
plasticky
kids
onesie,
balls
yeah.
and started using real leather cricket balls, which are obviously much harder. So at that point, we all had to kind of get some better gear and get some better rhymes. We got the game set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school soldiers passing out the hot shit, the rock shit, putting bounce in the mosh pit.
Nick, what the fuck was that?
That was Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Keep rolling.
Anyway, fucking whatever. So we had to upgrade our gear, and Dad went out one day and bought some pads and gloves for me. Except the gloves were for a right-handed person, which means if you imagine the way you hold a cricket bat, right? The way you hold a cricket bat. There's a thumb that's exposed to the oncoming ball and a thumb that's hidden from the oncoming ball. My exposed thumb had no padding on it.
Yeah.
My hidden thumb, heaps of padding on it. Because gloves, for cricket, only have padding on the exposed thumb.
Sure.
And that was the moment where I went, I kind of get the feeling that adults are just bumbling their way through life too. And that they don't necessarily know everything, because neither the salesperson nor my mum nor my dad picked up that maybe as a left-handed person I should have a left-handed pair of gloves. I think that was the point where I started to chip away at my innocence.
Okay.
And then a year later I discovered punk music and decided that basically all of society should be burnt down.
See, when you
It was
started
a pretty rapid decline.
Yeah, when you start that story and you start to talk about like they replaced the softball with the harder ball, I got very excited thinking, oh, this is going to be the perfect setup for me to make a comment on your story literally ending with your balls dropping.
Oh, yeah.
Thought,
yeah.
if this goes a certain way, and then it didn't.
Yeah,
So that's the moment where my childhood innocence really died, was when I couldn't make that joke.
Well, I mean, you've left your childhood innocence dying pretty late. What are you, 31?
Ah! Whoa, what just happened?
Fucking... What a thing to have done. Fuck.
What a thing to have done.
Papa, do you think James's testicles will finally drop in this episode?
Son, you're 35. Get a job. Papa! Papa?
The second set. Oh, they're all dropping tonight.
Papa, I'm gonna go and get that job now. Okay,
May I borrow the iPod Classic, Papa?
we started doing this bit on the street earlier today, and you turned to me and said, we cannot do this in real life.
I know. And you know what? I'm not sure we should be doing it on the podcast either. It is baffling. It is a baffling choice for baffling
I feel like
people.
I'm being held hostage by my own jokes. Fuck. The Ramones are in this episode. They're good.
Yeah, the Ramones are okay, I guess.
I
I think a couple of them had some dodgy politics, but...
Yeah, but they're good in the episode.
Oh, yes, in the episode they're good. Yes.
So after they sing Happy Birthday, you see Burns shaking like a whippet that needs to take a piss, and I enjoy that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's like a pissy little whippet.
What a specific reference.
Yeah, well, it looks vaguely canine in that bit, I think.
See.
And then he orders to have the Rolling Stones killed, and tragically, the Rolling Stones were killed immediately after the episode aired.
Immediately thereafter. It's
Yep.
weird that it carried across into real life like that, but...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is weird, but the fact that the Rolling Stones came back 3 days later and have just continued on well past the point where it should be possible for them to still be alive.
And that is the story of why we now have, in every year, we celebrate the public holiday of the Rolling Stones coming back to life, Eastone.
Very good.
Thank you. You know what is, like, I remember... Actually, it might even be a Simpsons joke. No, Simpsons have Rolling Stones on the Steel Wheelchair Tour. That's an old joke. But
Sure.
I remember being... Because as a kid, I quite liked the Rolling Stones. And I remember in, like, 95, 96, jokes about the Rolling Stones being old. And
Yeah.
people calling them the Strolling Bones instead of the Rolling Stones.
Strolling Bones, I like that.
The Strolling Bones, yeah. And it's now 20 years on from that, and they're still fucking going.
When you were saying it's 20 years, you like looked at the date on your monitor. Trying to remember what year it is.
I pretty much did that, yes.
I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm realizing...
Actually, sorry, just one thing I want to say on that.
Yep.
Is I do enjoy looking at my watch for things like that.
Yeah, you do.
I really enjoy if someone will be like, oh, when did you go to uni? And I'll just look at my watch and be like, 2007. Well, what'd you look at your watch for? I don't know. What do you look at your fucking watch for?
Now I'm looking at my notes here and realizing this is just like Tangent City here, so I'm gonna jump forward a bit here to the meat of the episode.
Can I? Because if I reach my arm over, I'll be able to pick one of your notes. Can I just pick a random note that you have to read?
I mean, I had a specific one, but sure.
That one.
The bear robot's attack on Burns is really vicious. That's what that note says.
Yeah, cool. What a fun little game we just played.
Yeah, because Frank's got a big bear and it attacks Burns and just rips him to shreds. It's
Rips
very
him.
upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went the way of the Rolling Stones.
Yes. Collected no moss.
Yes.
No moss. Means
Namaste.
sure.
Oh, maybe that's the the new version of that phrase. It's like a rolling yogi gathers. No, upon a rolling yogi, no must stay. There you go.
Okay, very good, I guess.
Is it?
Now, when Homer wants to get a bunch of money from Burns for the bear that Maggie has, and he wants to spend this money on a recording studio so he can sing the Big Mac song.
Yes.
Is this the first acknowledgement on The Simpsons of the existence of McDonald's?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I assume so. Yes, because it's because otherwise Krusty Burger is the standard for McDonald's. This must be the first reference.
Very curious.
Very curious.
Yes. Unless those are the ingredients for a Krusty Burger.
Oh, that's interesting.
Although I've always imagined a Krusty Burger being much closer to a Whopper than a Big Mac.
I have always imagined a Krusty Burger being closer to a Quarter Pounder than a Big Mac.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
You thinking like sauce, mustard, onion? I thought there was some salad in there.
On a on a Krusty Burger?
Yeah.
No.
I thought there was like tomato and lettuce at least.
Oh, maybe.
Because a Quarter Pounder has no lettuce, does it?
No, it doesn't. No. Maybe it is closer to a... I don't know. I feel like when you see Homer shoveling a Krusty Burger into his face, it's just bun patty bun, which is where I think it's a Quarter Pounder.
Bun patty bun.
Bun patty bun.
Bun patty bun.
See patty run.
Run,
Oh,
patty
fuck.
bun.
I meant to say see patty bun. Bun patty bun.
So the
Jane Bun, a weather person in Melbourne.
Okay. A bun is a thing you might put your meat in to eat a sandwich.
What?
Now, look. this episode, the main plot, you give me this fucking look. The main plot of this episode is that Burns, he wants his bear back. Maggie's got the bear, right?
Sure.
And he offers $1 million in 3 Hawaiian islands. And Homer's like, I'm Homer, woohoo, I'm rich now, mamma mia.
Yahoo!
Yeah. And then Maggie, to attach the bear. Can't give up the bear because Maggie wants the bear. Maggie loves the bear,
Yeah.
can't give it up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Sure.
Fuck Maggie, take the bear, give it to Burns, get the $1 million, buy her $4,000 worth of new toys.
Give her one of the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll run the economy of it into the ground. She's
You could
only
give-
a toddler, but
You got 3 islands, you give 1 to each kid.
one to each kid.
That could be season 6.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine doing a tour of the islands, but she's living in this fucking hellfire of an island. Lisa's island has been turned into a library. It's now known as an Ilila library.
You got these 3 kids. So you got one that's basically Lost, you got one that's Gilligan's Island, and then you got the other one that's Swiss Family Robinson. You got 3 different shows.
3 different spin-off shows.
Yeah. And then Homer and Marge, they just continue to live their lives.
Okay, what about Man About the House, the show from which George and Mildred spun off? Where does that fit in?
Well, do they live on an island?
No.
Well,
They
okay.
lived in a flat somewhere in England.
Okay, well then we get Lenny and Carl and spin them off.
Alright, we'll spin them off.
Yeah, so now we got 5 series.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Where's our money?
Fox, if you would like to send us some money.
You bunch of fox. I don't even know what jokes are anymore.
So, Mr. Burns and his pal Smithers, they decide it's time to get this bear back.
Should we start calling him Smitty?
No. So, look. Initially they want to zip line into the house along the roof. Doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Nope.
Something I've never noticed in this scene until this viewing, they're dressed up
Yes.
in the, the full body black suits.
Yep, the balaclavas and whatnot. Not
you-
the baklava.
No.
I once tried to break into a bank with baklava on my head. Deliciously sticky.
Yeah. Yeah, and you robbed that bank. That's
did.
how you could afford this nice place. But anyway,
Yes.
have you ever noticed that Mr. Burns is carrying
Keep the Hawaiian Island noise down. We're trying to record a bloody podcast. Sorry, it's the Hawaiian Island noise
Yeah, okay, well,
from the place that I bought.
pineapple on pizza. Have you noticed ever
I'm into it.
that Burnsy, old mate Burns, is carrying a fucking sword in that scene?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, he's got a sword around his belt. I'd never noticed. I'm watching it. He's got a full ninja getup going.
Wow. Well, then it's good that he only sprayed Flanders with that kind of knockout spray,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Slitting
slashing
his
him to
throat.
pieces.
Yeah.
And who is Burns going to use that sword against? Maggie?
I imagine.
The custodian of the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think he was planning on killing the little baby.
Right.
Yeah.
In a infanticide, I believe that's known as.
Yeah, sure. Would have been very unpleasant. Glad he didn't kill Maggie.
Yes, yes, as am I. As am I.
So then the next night they try to sneak in with suction cups along the roof.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you do it again? Yeah.
Should I come down off the roof? Ceiling. I meant to say ceiling. Damn. Fuck. Damn.
So, look,
Damn dang darn.
Homer comes in and he stays up all night eating cheese. He eats 64 slices of American cheese, which is a
leads-
particularly bad cheese.
Which leads into my next question. We did the Butterfingers eat my shorts. Shall we do 64 slices of American cheese for an eat my shorts?
Should we just kill ourselves now instead of bothering to buy all that American cheese?
Life's a prison, lean into it. If you're having trouble, call 13 11 14. It's Lifeline. Life's a prison, lean into it. Let's have American cheese.
Can we just eat like 3 slices?
Of Kraft singles.
Well, Kraft single. They're not going to do an American cheese Kraft single.
No, but like, where else are we going to find pre-packaged American cheese? It'll have to be Kraft singles.
Here's my thinking. This episode, Homer stays up all night eating cheese. Marge comes out. The episode should take a hard pivot and is now about Homer and Marge getting a divorce.
Jesus, that is a hard pivot.
Look, you walk out, your partner stay up all night eating 64 pieces of cheese. What are you going to do? You going to stay with that person?
It's the summer of George.
It's too much cheese.
64
He went
slices.
blind.
64 slices is a lot.
It's so much cheese.
I reckon we could do it. See, the problem is, though, like, to be true to form, it would have to be the cheese that is individually wrapped slices. And I don't like a single slice of that. Like,
No, it's garbage.
it's awful, metallic tasting rubbish. let's eat 64 each.
Does that stuff still exist?
Craft singles.
Yeah, can you still
of course
buy
it
that
exists.
shit?
Yeah, you can buy bigger stringers. You can buy all kinds of shit, James.
Don't do that.
No, I mean, I'm not buying bigger stringers, James, but you can.
You're eating one right now.
No, this is a
Don't tell me how to choose.
This is an Uncle Toby's fruit roll-up is what I'm eating right now. Another shit thing that you can still buy for some reason.
So, Mr. Burns, to counteract...
Do you want to eat Uncle Toby's fruit roll-ups?
A little bit.
Yeah, I kind of want to eat it too.
To counteract Homer's crapulence, Burnsy takes over every TV station and turns all the beer away from Springfield. He takes the
Sure.
beer, he turns it away.
Turns it away.
Which is apparently something he can do.
Yeah.
So, Barney shows up at the front door, Homer shuts the door on him, and you hear him accidentally fire a shot, you hear a window break, you hear a woman scream, you hear an ambulance come. Pretty grim. Barney just killed someone.
Maud Flanders.
Ooh, you reckon he killed Maud?
I think so, because she dies off in the series, and I don't remember how.
Yeah.
I suspect it's this. Weird they chose to do it off screen.
And then deal with it 5 seasons later.
5 seasons later in a different way while she was still alive. Or maybe she's done another fucking... Who did we say came back to life before? It wasn't the Beatles, was it?
No, it's the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones. Maybe Maud is a little bit like Keith Richards. I mean, in some respects, I've always said that. And she came back to life after 3 days.
Okay.
I'm pretty
That
sure...
would make a certain amount of sense.
I'm
I mean, it
pretty
wouldn't,
sure-
but, you know.
I'm pretty sure that if you go back through Keith Richards' medical history, there is a sequence of events in which he was technically dead for 3 days and then came back to life.
Yeah, probably. Maybe 3 cumulative days.
Cumulative.
I love that Mr. Burns and Smithers just kind of keep making television.
Yes, that's good.
And, again, kind of wish the whole episode had just... Or I feel like, actually, if this is a weaker season, if this is, like, season 18 onwards, at some point the episode would have just become about that.
Yeah.
It would have pivoted and would have been about that.
Whereas we got a couple of tastes, bit of a joke, and then off.
Whereas this episode, pretty focused the whole way through, is on Burns wants Sheriff Lobo back on TV.
Yes, Bobo Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I guess we get to your next note.
Paparazzo.
Paparazzo.
So Burns is negotiating with Maggie in the sandpit. A photographer sticks his head up, gets a photo of Burns sucking on a pacifier, and he says, "You damn paparazzo." I just really like that he's gone for the correct usage of the singular term.
That is good.
Because we only ever hear paparazzi, but that's plural.
And then, when he pops up again to take a photo of Mr. Burns having just been defeated by a baby, he says, "What a scoop!" So this guy's my best friend. I love him.
I do enjoy people who shout, "What a scoop."
Yeah. To me, that's real comedy. That comes from the heart.
The heart.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you gotta listen to your heart when it's calling to you. How does that song go?
Listen to your heart
Yep.
when it says, "What a scoop."
Good. You said that so matter-of-factly. Like that was just the obvious punchline that I was missing, which is true. So Burnsy, he gets his bear back, and what I love about this episode is that it ends in the exact same way as Citizen Kane.
Burnsy's bear's back. Dun, 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 dun.
Exact same way Citizen Kane ends. It flashes forward to the year 1 million, and now Mr. Burns is a robotman.
Yes, that is how Citizen Kane
Yeah,
is.
which is what I love about Citizen Kane, is like, you know, we see him dead in the first scene, but then we see him alive at the end as a robot,
Yeah.
carrying around his sled. I'm gonna go sledding now, I'm a robot. And then we get, what's his face, that, like, the Smithers equivalent.
Jeb? No. Oh, the friend.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr.
Got all these notes here.
Mr. Tuffington?
It's not Mr. Tuffington.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. I wrote 6 pages of notes. It's on one of these.
Hello, Jebediah. I'm drunk. Return my love? Why is that there? That's a note that I didn't read out because it's not crossed out.
Mr. Bernstein.
Did I? Oh, Mr. Bernstein.
Yeah.
Stein meaning stone in German. What are stones? They're like rocks, rock tumblers.
And who works with stones? A smithy. Smithers.
A stonesmith.
Yeah.
Bernstein, Stonesmith. It's all there, people.
Bernstein Stonesmith, my favourite character from the movie Jaws.
We're going to need a bigger Bernstein Stonesmith.
Yeah.
It's what they always say. It's classic line.
So we see this robot Burns, and it's got its head floating in a jar, and I feel like that's where the idea for Futurama came from.
Sure.
Yes.
They have heads in jars.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Correct.
Tremendous. Sorry, I looked at one of the notes that I've got for Citizen Kane that I didn't cross out. Just simply says, "What the fuck is happening?" And I feel like that applies as much to this episode as it did to that scene of that movie.
So, yeah, good episodes of The Simpsons.
I have to say that I don't like the future flashback, flash forward Robotman ending.
No?
I actually think that these are two very good episodes with two very shit endings.
Why don't you like the ending?
That
What's
is
wrong with
my
the flash forward?
Capital H, capital T, hot take. Because the entire story has been quite small and contained. And then to me, it's one of those things where they've gone, how are we going to end this? I don't know, some wackiness. I would have preferred a subtler ending.
Okay, like he goes to bed and he fucks the bear?
No, I don't want Burns to fuck the bear.
You kind of want him to fuck the bear, though, don't you?
Well, what I actually think would be more in keeping with The Simpsons. So the joke in the end bit is, I know I say this every century, but I'm never leaving your side again.
Baby.
I actually think it would be a much better turn if it came up with, 2 weeks later, and then Bobo's just in a bin, and Smithers is like, what about this? And Burns like, oh, I don't care for it anymore. And then that's the end of the episode. I think that's better in keeping with Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That is good.
Thanks.
That is good. So we've rewritten the episode to be better. So, look, Matt Groening, Al Jean, if you're out there, get us in the writing room, guys.
From now on, I'm going to refer to this episode as Rosebud.
Okay, what were you calling it before?
Bobo Bud.
Yeah, Bobo Bud.
So now it's Bobo Better.
Okay, so in the end,
Bo money, Bobo problems.
Burns gets Sheriff Lobo back on TV and everyone's happy.
And everyone's happy.
Yeah. So look out for our Sheriff Lobo podcast. Coming to the A Lot of Green Network very soon.
Sheriff Lobcast.
We'll come up. We'll keep workshopping that name.
What was it? The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. There's got to be something in that.
So this has been Pods in the Key of Springfield. Thank you for listening, as always.
Thank you.
We're on that network I just mentioned. I've been James. You've been Nick.
Yes, I have been.
We're on social media. You can find us. Key Springfield, Twitter, we're on Facebook, whatever. Search for us. Our email address is podsinthekeyofspringfield@gmail.com. Woozer. Yes.
So this is going to be a little outdated by now, but congratulations to the competition winners.
Oh, yeah.
That's outdated by like 4 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
But congratulations to them anyway.
Yeah, good work, guys.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And congratulations us to giving it to them.
Yes. We did a very good job of handing out the prizes.
You know, the word hero is thrown around a lot these days.
But not enough, in my opinion.
Well,
Whizzle wuzzle.
I was going to say, but if anything, that only goes to undermine the true extent of our heroism. Can you cue me out again, please?
Whizzle wuzzle.
What a scoop!
What a scoop!
Yahoo!
Da-da-da-da-da.
In Springfield.
Is there a bird in here?
That's a silly sounding noise.
Just a noise. Getting a haircut tomorrow, and it's the first time in my entire life that I've booked a haircut in advance.
Wait, what? You're getting a
Right.
haircut tomorrow?
Yeah.
And you booked a haircut now?
Yeah, I booked a haircut today.
Today?
I walked into the hairdresser and said, I would like to get a haircut tomorrow.
And they said, fuck off.
The guy said, my word, I've never heard of anything so ludicrous.
No, I didn't. What a particularly jowly hairdresser.
Yeah.
Did you go to jowly dresses?
I did actually, yes.
Yeah,
They're going to trim my jowls.
I find it really weird that you keep going back to jowly dresses. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure I can get behind it.
Well, I was going to Julie dressage, but they would deal with my horse and wouldn't really do anything about my hair.
And they would put rhinestones upon it
Yeah.
because it's Julie.
Yeah, Rhinestone Cowboys.
Or do you mean it was a dressage place and the proprietor was a woman by the name of Julie?
I'm unclear on any of this, to be fair.
Right.
Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Oh, I'm some person I am.
Alright, that's a bunch of stuff.